So, one, I don't even want to say theory right now because I'll say it's more solid than that. But one, theory is not the word, because I'm convinced that this is a fact. But one reason that why Sully took a real liking to Jason, the main reason really, is because Jason reminds Sully of him when he was a little kid, when he was a little boy. And that's why he took him under his wing, treated him like a little brother, really. Sometimes took him to get some fish and chips and food, etc. We saw that a lot in season 2, really. That's when their friendship kind of bond. That's when their big bro, little bro kind of like relationship kind of started. And it messed Sully up, like when Jason died. I think Jason dying really put things into perspective for him. And I think that's also one of the reasons why he didn't like what Deshane did when Deshane, if you guys remember the end of season 3, when Deshane had that plan where he basically kind of like coerced Ats into working for him, basically manipulated Ats into thinking that Ats had to pay off a debt. So basically forced Ats to work for him in order to pay for that debt, but it wasn't really a debt because they ended up stealing. Deshane ended up hiring someone to steal the bag anyway in the first place. So very, very intelligent, very smart, but yeah, also very evil. And then by the end of the day it worked, and that whole plan was basically to get to force Ats to put the bag in Steph's home, knowing that Jamie would take the rap for it, knowing that Jamie will get arrested for it. And exactly what happened. Brilliant chess move, I can't lie. But Sully was against that from a moral perspective. When I say brilliant chess move, I'm not talking about the morality of it. I'm just talking about it just in terms of taking out your competition. Brilliant chess move. Obviously, the morals of it are in question. And so Sully had an issue with the morality of that. He didn't want to get kids involved, period, in general, at all. If he wanted to kill Jamie, just kill Jamie. But don't get his little brothers involved with their minors, their kids. And I think one of the reasons why he felt like that is because obviously Jason, he saw Jason grow up from a kid, Jason was a kid, etc. And because of that, he didn't really want to see any more kids get hurt, to be honest. And that's one of the reasons why he was so against Deshane's plan. And he had nothing to do with that plan, really. And that also drove a wedge between Sully and Deshane. The fact that they weren't seeing eye to eye on that is also one of the other reasons why Sully just doesn't respect or rate the way Deshane runs things. And that's also why he was also going a separate ways. We saw them have an argument there after that, and Sully said, "Oh, we could have won in a different way," or something like that. But Deshane has the mentality of win by any means necessary, you don't care. And so at the end of the day, after that now, the reason why I even mention all that is because the whole Jason saga is brilliant plot, because they can use that now to make a backstory for Sully. If they ever want to make a spin-off, a Top Boy spin-off, where we have a young Sully and a young Deshane, basically one key thing that they could do is, you see the upbringing that Jason had, where his mum was hooked on drugs, and I think his mum was a prostitute as well, because she offered like Sully sex in exchange for drugs or whatever. But his mum was hooked on drugs at the very least. His dad was extremely physically abusive. He grew up in extreme poverty, and a whole bunch of other issues too. They could make Sully grow up the exact same way, and that would kind of put the whole storyline together, because viewers will watching that thinking, oh, okay, we're seeing a young Sully here, his mom's hooked on drugs, his dad's abusive, just like how Jason was. And it would further explain why he liked Jason so much, why he took Jason under his wing, etc. So what I'm essentially saying is they can use the whole Sully and Jason friendship, and basically how Jason grew up, as we saw in season 2, with his abusive dad and his trashy, shitty mum who's some drugs or whatever. They could use that and use that to create a backstory of Sully, basically, and make Sully grow up the exact same way. Because like I said, it would explain why Sully liked Jason. So yeah, I'm just mentally brainstorming some ideas basically for a spin-off. as Top Boy's finishing. And one idea that they could do is, like I said, a backstory on Deshane and Sully, having a young Deshane, a young Sully growing up as kids, seeing how they came up. Yeah, something like that would be I think that would be quite interesting, seeing all the trials and tribulations and the adversity they had when they started in this, when they started on the roads. But yeah, that's it for this video. Leave a comment in the comment section below, and yeah, in a bit.